All right, so we are getting started with rooted. This is our weekly pelvic yoga therapy class. And it's on the shorter side. Both boost and rooted are on the shorter side on purpose for householders, meaning people who are in their practice and also in real life, day to day. We don't get the, hut on the mountaintop or the ashram, away from responsibilities, but we're in this practice to take care of ourselves while we're taking care of others, a house, a kid, whatever it might be, whatever stage of life we're in. So they're meant to be short and sweet on purpose. And again, if you don't have a yoga strap, we'll need one of those later, okay? So seated 90-90, you're gonna come to a blanket or bolster, something under your bum, partially for cushion and partially for lift. Okay, so if you are a person who feels like my hips are tight, my hamstrings are tight, I have pelvic floor tension, any of the above, you might want to sit up a little bit higher on something for support. Okay, so from this feet close to the body kind of place, you're going to inch your way out towards 90 degrees. So wherever your chest is facing, that front leg, the femur is coming straight out, shin to 90, foot to 90, okay? This other back leg also, for many of us, needs to sneak back so that it's truly coming kind of straight out the side of the body. Just have a moment to notice and check in with, okay, is that familiar for my body, super awkward, unfamiliar for my body, whatever it might feel like, okay? Couple things that you're gonna do for your own self-assessment now, as well as through this month while we practice this seated posture. One is to look at the sit bone of the back leg. So if I have my right leg back, I'm gonna touch under my right sit bone and gauge how much space there is between the floor and that side of my pelvis. So if there's a whole lot of space or tension lifting off the floor, we're gonna see, could we melt, could we allow a little more grounding through that side of the pelvis, through that sit bone. It won't be as firmly grounded as the front sit bone, right? It won't ever get fully symmetrical because our legs are not symmetrical, but we're looking for that quality of being able to sit or widen into that side. The other way that you can gauge your progress is how much support you have into your arms or how much lean you have in your torso. So over time, gradually, we're looking for self-supported vertical posture, little by little. So you might just spend 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes in 90-90 each day, making that part of your day-to-day practice, okay? From here, let's check the other side. However you want to change sides, swivel around. We're starting with both sit bones on the blanket or bolster. And from more of that Z sit or like, pom-pom cheerleader days for any of us with the feet closer to the body, we're going to then gradually find our way out to the 90-degree position. So wherever your rib cage or sternum aims in space, you're looking at that 90-degree front thigh, front shin, sole of the foot. Same idea with the back leg. It might need to sneak back a little further for some of us, okay? If that's not comfortable on the hip, it can be as far forward as need be. But over time, we're gonna look for, do I truly get to 90? And when I get there, how's my sit bone? Am I hiked up off the floor, or can I allow that sit bone to drop a little more? Requires quite the internal rotation of that femur, which is important to train for pelvic floor health, especially for pelvic floor tension, being able to rotate in and widen that left sit bone or side of the pelvic floor, okay? And then again, if you're leaning to the side or really feeling like you need your arms to support yourself, how could you root down through the pelvis and up through the crown of the head, where you're able to find that spinal elongation. Okay, good. Other side. Good. So now that you've done like your self-assessment, we're going to do a little bit of activation. Okay, so back to side one. Find yourself both sit bones, vertical, elongated posture. You can use your arms if need be. We're going to focus on the front leg, and then I want you to press the pinky side of your front foot into the floor. So front leg presses down, so you feel that hip or glute engage. Press down, 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 take a breath, and then let it go. Shift awareness to your back foot. Big toe side of your back foot presses down, 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 down. About 5 seconds while you breathe there. And then let it go. Front leg again. Front leg presses down into the floor, like you're trying to get lift off. You won't actually lift off unless you're like, you know, enlightened and have levitation down. Good. Release the front leg, attention on the back foot. Press the back foot into the ground, hold it there, keep pressing. 3, 4, 5, and release. Good. Front leg, but lifting up. How could I maybe front leg off the ground? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, set it down. Back leg, back leg. You might need to shift your weight. However much you need to shift your weight might get smaller over time. Whee! And then set it down. Whew. Last one, front leg goes up. Connect it into the abdominal strength we had at the end of boost. And then let it go. Back leg, here we go. Back leg up, up, up. Go for it, give it a try, see what happens. And then set it down. Good. Swivel away from me. Find your 90-90 on the other side. And then swivel back towards me. And have a moment to acknowledge, am I able to sit a little better now than I did when I first got here? For most folks, after a little activation, they're like, oh yeah, I feel my sit bone more grounded, or I feel like I can sit taller without as much effort. Whatever progress you made in that short amount of time, celebrate it. And know that as you come back to this practice, wink, wink, when you add this into your routine every other day or every day, you'll see more change. Okay, so side 2, find your 90-90. We're pressing down first. Front leg pressing into the floor. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then let it go. Back foot has your attention. Press your back foot and shin into the floor for 5. Press, press, press. And then let it go. Front leg again. Front leg presses down, down, down. Try to change nothing else. And then release it. Back leg, here we go. Back leg roots down, down, down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it go. Good. Front leg has attention, but now wants to lift up. Front leg wants to lift up. Woo! Give it a whirl. See what it takes. Just 5 seconds and then let it go. So okay if one side feels harder than the other. Same in my body. We've got some asymmetry. That's okay. Back leg, here we go. Try to lift off. Back leg up, back leg up. 3, 4, 5. Good. Set it down. Come back to your center if need be, and then front leg lifts. This is our last round. Front leg lift, lift, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set it down. Back leg, grand finale. Here we go. Back leg up. And then set it down. Good. Find your center and then let the thigh turn out, turn in, swivel away from the camera. Have a moment at the other side and then swivel around to the front again. Have a moment to sit and acknowledge, oh, I feel a change in this specific way. If there's no change, that's okay. I feel warmth. I feel connection all the way up through my belly, like my deep core abdominal strength. And I do feel my other sit bone is more grounded. I'm more level in my pelvis, okay? So again, whether you're feeling that change just in one moment or not, okay. Practice it again. Give yourself some repetition, the gift of that familiarity to come back to this practice. Whether you take just that snippet for yourself, implement it daily or every other day, or just use this replay. Maybe you schedule yourself rooted number 2. Later this week, I'm going to do Friday, repeat this class if you found this useful. Okay, so now we stretch. Come on down. Bringing one foot to the strap. Ideally, the ball of the foot has the support. Let's all go right side just for the sake of convenience for cueing. So right foot has the strap. And finding a way to use the strap that lets your arms be in a comfortable position or strong position. Okay, so up to you whether your upper body is more passive, or maybe you loop the strap and actively pull a little bit. Find that same retraction of the shoulder blades where the arms draw back. Nice deep breath in and out through the nose. Imagine that femur head sinking deeper into the hip socket, both sides of the pelvis grounded. Maybe a little wiggle of your toes. Wherever you feel it is good. So for some of us, we'll really feel the calf stretch. Others will feel it right behind the knee, down into the belly, the hamstring, maybe up towards the buttock. Your body will feel it where it's needed. Good. And take the strap in your left hand. So I'm still on the right leg. Strap goes to my opposite hand. And I'm going to take my thumb to the hip crease. See if you can feel the hip crease melt or drop away from your thumb, like the hip crease is getting deep, soft, squishy. And then feel the leg turn in a little without gripping at the hip flexor. So the foot or the toes turn in a little. And then follow that diagonal towards the opposite shoulder. So I'm not twisting my spine. Both hips are still grounded. Just going a little diagonal across midline. And then your other knee might come behind. So let that other leg turn in as well, coming towards or across midline. For some of us, especially if we've been skiing, snowboarding, wearing boots a lot, you might feel a nice stretch down the outside of your lower leg. You could even turn your ankle in slightly so you feel that length. Nice deep breath in and out. Full exhale to finish that position, and then inhale, come through center, trade hands. Hug the left leg in so that bent knee gets the support of your hand. Straight right leg still has the strap. We're going to follow our breath this time. So inhale, open wide, and then exhale, narrow. As you open, let the thighs turn out, external rotation, kind of on a diagonal, and then they roll back into parallel. You might keep breathing and moving, or you might open, keep breathing, but stay in that wide posture, using the bent leg as a counterbalance. So both sides are coming into hip flexion. Thighs come close to the belly, deep, soft, squishy hip creases. Good, and then inhale, coming back together. Exhale, set the left foot down. Good. Little variation here. We're going to take that right leg Hug it into your right hand, roll to the left side to catch your foot for a quad stretch. So from right straight leg, send it back into your hand, rolling to your side. And as you're on your side, think of nudging your sacrum, your pelvis forward as your thigh sweeps back into the catch of your hand. So hip forward, thigh back. So you get that nice strong quad stretch. Good. Slowly release your foot, roll back to supine. Last movement for that right leg is figure four. So we're going to turn the knee out. Bring that foot down to your opposite leg or into your hand. You might choose to do a little cradle with rocking side to side or add the support of that left leg hugging in. Little movement is always good and okay. Getting a little release through the back of the hip, piriformis, as well as feeling how your low back is supported by the ground. One more breath with those small movements for figure four. Slowly coming out, set both feet down. You might pause there to rest a moment or send the legs out like Shavasana. Noticing how the two sides probably feel different. The side we've done the stretches with, acknowledge and maybe enjoy, oh, my leg feels longer, or I feel more relaxed on that side. Enjoying a moment of stillness. And then when you're ready, slide your feet back in, bend your knees, and we'll do that sequence on the other side. So the strap will go to your left foot. The ball of the foot has the support. You might let your arms rest more passively into the strap, or you might loop the strap and give it a little extra oomph, drawing the shoulders back. Maybe a little wiggle of the toes. And noticing that your opposite hip is grounded. So if it feels like a tail tucked bridge position where your hips are starting to leave the floor, see if you can send your sacrum back into the ground. Let the femur, the thigh of the stretching side, imagine that femur head dropping into the socket, kind of plugging in back into the support of the floor underneath you. Nice calm breaths all the way in and all the way out. One more breath there. And at the end of your exhale, take your strap across to the right hand. Left hand or thumb can go to the hip crease on the left side. A little bit of self-feedback. So instead of a gripping feeling up into your thumb, see if you can find that the hip flexor can melt, drop in, and soften as you turn the leg. So the whole leg turns like a dial inward towards midline, maybe moving diagonally across midline. For most of us, myself included, this is a really small movement. You don't have to go very far. Make sure that left hip, left shoulder is still grounded. Maybe a little counterbalance of the right leg also going towards midline. So the foot stays grounded, but the right knee flags in behind the straight leg. So an equal amount of closure or coming across midline. Maybe that last little cherry on top is to flag your ankle in a little if you want that extra lower leg, outer lower leg love. Good. Come back to center, big breath in. Trade hands with the strap and then catch your right leg into your right hand. So the short lever or bent leg is supported by your hand. Both legs are going to open or go away from midline and then come back into midline. Using your breath. So inhale to widen. And then exhale, narrow. Feeling the thigh bones turn out as you open. And turn back in to parallel. You might keep moving, or the next time you open, pause there. Using that right leg as a counterbalance, so your back feels supported, pelvis relatively level. Saying hello to those inner thigh muscles, and maybe also the width of the pelvic floor. Kind of a yawning, releasing, open between the sit bones. With your next inhale, find center. Exhale, set the right foot down. Good. We're going to take the strap away. Bend the leg, hug it into your left hand, and start to sweep that left foot behind for your quad stretch. You're going to roll onto your right side. Rather than a folded hip flex position, I want you to nudge your pelvis forward. Think of opening the front of that hip to sweep the thigh back into your quad stretch. Nice, strong breaths in and out through your nose. You might get a little benefit through the shoulder and the chest as well. If you want more of that, you can kick your foot back into your hand. A little more shoulder love if you want that. Good. With your exhale, start to release. The knee hugs back into your belly to roll you into supine. And then our last movement is that figure four. So letting the thigh turn out, maybe a little cradling with your hands or with the strap around that leg. You can work there, or you can add the support of the right thigh into the left ankle. And again, let it move if that feels good. You can rock side to side, or inhale, come out of the stretch a little. Exhale, hug closer. So you can pump forward and back, side to side, any combination of the two. And then unwind from the figure four. Send both legs up, give them a shimmy. So just a little shake of the meat of the bones, releasing. And then depending on what you'd like, if that felt good, or if you mentioned any foot, ankle, calf stuff going on, you might let yourself swivel into a legs up the wall. Or come on down through constructive rest, plant your feet back into the floor, or Shavasana, send your legs out long. So finding a way to organize yourself that comes back to center after an asymmetrical sequence on each side. Now come to midline, come to center. If you're at all cool, add a blanket for warmth or some socks or a sweater. And invite yourself into stillness. Make any of those last adjustments to your clothes, your blankets, your hair, whatever it is, maybe taking glasses off. And inviting yourself to surrender. Glad that you showed up, glad that you put the effort in to move and participate. And now trusting that through that focused effort, you're prepared well to receive. That now for the next several moments that you get to drop in, that there's nowhere else you need to be, nothing else that needs your attention. You might surrender your attention and your breath, dropping into being as a passive, receptive, resting state. Or if it feels more useful to tether your attention to your breath, you could work with breath counting or a mantra internally. As I breathe in, I feel my breath come in. As I breathe out, I feel my breath go out. Trusting breath by breath that you can let go or soften, or drop in. It's 1% more. What might it be like if I could surrender into this restful place, trusting that I'm held by the ground, by the earth. Allowing and even giving the weight of your body back into the floor. Letting yourself receive the next few waves of breath coming in and out. And as you notice wherever your attention is in this moment, see if you can acknowledge without judgment, like, oh, that's the object of my meditation or the thought or sensation that my mind attached to. And then guide your attention consciously all the way into your feet. Spread your toes apart wide, take a big breath in. Big exhale, curl your toes or circle the ankles. And then one more inhale, spread the toes, flex the ankles, feel a little length, yawning the soles of the feet open. And then if you took legs up or legs out, start to bend your knees. Exhale, fold into yourself. Curling into a ball, maybe rolling to your side. And then have a moment to make your way upright. Sit however you're most comfortable. So it could be a chair, could be a bolster. Crisscross applesauce. Arriving upright, and choose where, if you'd like to place your hands on your body, maybe that's Sridaya heart mudra, maybe it's Yoni mudra, triangle down low at your pelvic bowl. Maybe there's a different hug or self touch or mudra that you know. So based on your experience, trust, this is my choice. This is where I'm going to land my own hands or my own touch. And trust whatever good that you found here. Whatever amount of ease or relief or hope or strength. Trust it. Full breath in. Full breath out. Easy bow head to heart. Offering yourself appreciation, each other appreciation, and this practice, this membership appreciation. Thank you, thank you. We are complete for today's class of Rooted. I hope to see you all again on Thursday for our gentle restorative class. Also, if you're not registered yet for our free community workshop on Thursday the 12th, I believe. So Lit from Within, a wintering edition, we're going to rekindle intentions and get specific about our word or theme for the year. And then align with that a very simple, curated daily practice, what I call the 3 non-negotiables. Some of you are familiar with that from other programs or having worked with me one-on-one. So if you want support moving past Jan 1 and 2 into living the rest of your year with purpose, with focus, with intention, please join us for Lit from Within on January 12th. Okay, so thank you. I'll see you all soon, I hope.